Talk to me about what you've seen and what you've heard, and just your reaction to the devastation right here in Travis County.
Yeah, so it all happened week ago, Friday, Saturday into Saturday morning. I've talked to folks who were in their mobile home at the time. Floodwaters came. They had a very scary night. The folks that survived, others had even worse nights. It's just been a terrible tragedy for those folks. It's not a widespread thing as far as Travis County goes, but if you look at these two creeks, Sandy Creek and Cow Creek, the destruction is immense. Like, the power of water in those creeks is unfathomable, really. Talked to one person who has lived here for 42 years. He's never seen anything like this. That's a common refrain from all these folks. So it was a horrible night, Friday night into Saturday morning. 911 calls started coming. ESD1 was the first responding fire agency. So outside of the city limits, we have emergency services districts across the county, and ESD1 is this area. So they were the first responders there. They have mutual aid agreements with other ESDs across Travis County. So we ended up with not only them, but ESD11, ESD8, ESD3, ESD2, Austin Travis County EMS, the Travis County Sheriff's Department. They were all on scene immediately helping folks. And over that night, ESD1 tells me that they rescued around 200 people. Some of them were in the water. I know Austin Travis County EMS rescued people using a Zodiac boat out of the water actually that night. But what impresses me is just they were there immediately helping folks. And that kind of went on overnight. The next day, we had two teams from TDEM that came immediately to help search along the creek for survivors. Same thing happened on Sunday. I met them out there Sunday morning. We had a meeting at 8 a.m. with something like 51 firefighters from all across Travis County. We had a Travis County Parks team there that was able to cut down debris to help those first responders look for folks. That continued for several days. TDEM then began bringing in additional teams, search teams in particular, and that has continued throughout the week. And that response among first responders has been absolutely amazing, but also the response of volunteers who just saw this need and came out here to help has been absolutely overwhelming as well. And at this point, if you go down to the church, where it has kind of been the epicenter of the helping the community area, you now can see cooling tents, laundry facility, a shower facility, and then of course all of these first responders. We've got something like 514 people from either TDEM or Travis County that are all coordinating under the incident command that we have here that have been helping people.
Did this event catch the county off guard? Did y'all have all those resources you talked about? Was this something that was on y'all's radar? Were people kind of staged for an incident, or what resources was anything anticipated, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, so we have ESDs across the county, and this one was ESD1. They're always ready. If you make a 911 call out here, that goes to ESD1 and to the Travis County Sheriff's Department. And so I think that day there had been a flash flood warning that we posted about there, and then I think the Kerrville incident had happened the night before, and so I think the general forecast from the weather were just continued drizzle basically, but risks of flooding sort of generally. But ESD1, man, the second they got those first 911 calls, they sprang into action. They obviously have the things that they need to help rescue people, and they had those mutual aid agreements with Austin Travis County EMS, the other ESDs who had boats for water rescue, things like that.
One thing we hear consistently, we've been down at Sandy Creek every day and talking, obviously there was a lot of frustration from residents over the bridge, and I want to talk about the bridge in a second, but one thing we hear over and over again is, where's the county? Why is this a church leading these efforts? And neighbors helping neighbors, but where are the resources from the county? And I was wondering if you could talk on that as far as the county's role on cleaning debris and the heavy equipment that's needed and just kind of the recovery efforts. I know the biggest concern is we have volunteers right now, but when they start returning to work, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. So like I said, the 911 calls go to the Travis County Emergency Services District. So the first folks to respond were from the county. So Travis County ESD number 1, the Travis County Sheriff's Department, Austin Travis County EMS, the Travis County Parks Department. They were there immediately responding to those 911 calls, saving lives, saving 200 people from water or from their houses that very night. The county and TDEM have had resources here all the time. A lot of it is not seen by people. So the first step in a disaster like this, where you have loss of life, a lot of debris along the creek, is you have to search that debris before you really should start clearing it. And so with TDEM, we have been doing that right now. I think we have 16 teams with dogs and people, and we have had that. It's been going this entire time.
So it's a matter of phases.
Yes, there are phases to immediate disaster response, and then moving into a recovery phase, and sort of through that is the phase of continuing to search for folks. So those creeks, Sandy Creek's about 15 miles long between where it starts and Lake Travis, where it dumps into, same with Goat Creek. And these folks that are searching, I went out today with a team that had come here from Alabama. Yesterday went out with a team that had come here from Florida. We've also got Texas teams up and down those rivers. Each team has a dog and human handlers that go with it. The one yesterday, the Florida team, I was talking to Dr. Brown, the veterinarian who was with that team, with the dog. They were able to do about 3 miles on that creek. And so it's a long process to do an effective search. Then they don't just search it once, they do 2 searches. They do a sort of quicker first search, a longer second search, and then they do third searches at areas of interest. And so that's what we're in the middle of right now.
And then let me ask you, like, your role in all this and what you've been up to the last 10 days, and obviously, again, people are wanting to see. Surely you can't be everywhere all at once, right? And people at Sandy Creek are like, where are our leaders? Where are our leaders? What, can you talk to us about what you've been doing the last 10 days?
Sure. So Sunday morning, went out there at 8 a.m. I met with Sunday morning, went out there about 8 a.m., met with the firefighters. So they had a meeting. So this happened sort of Friday night, really Saturday morning, very early Saturday morning is when it happened. I went out there Sunday morning to meet with the incident command, which at that point was run out of ESD 1, whose office is right there. Chief Bailey was the incident commander. He actually came from ESD 11. The ESD 1 chief had been physically cut off because of some of the flooding in those first moments, so he was helping out there. And they, those 50 firefighters, I talked to them, they got instructions from Chief Bailey about what they were going to do that day, about some of the risks out there, about risks of bridges that they would be crossing over to search for people. And that same level of effort has been going on ever since that first 911 call was made Friday night into Saturday morning.
All these days later, where would you say like your top priority, your top focus is right now?
Top focus right now is those search teams. We want to make sure that they've searched everything, that we're able to get answers for family members and things like that. That's the number one priority.
3 still missing as of now?
Yes, my understanding is that 9 passed away and 3 are missing or unaccounted for at this point.
I want to talk about the bridges. Cow Creek, TxDOT saying 60-day turnaround. Sandy Creek's wondering, now that the low crossing bridge is, which I understand has been a big boon to that community. I know they're very thankful for that bridge. But their bridge, with which I understand the rebuild, they want 2-way traffic, if I'm hearing that. So can you update us on the status of both of those bridges, and especially school starting next month?
Yeah, so we have a community there, something like 380 people. So this whole community, the general effect of this was, so Aqua Water runs the water. It's a private water provider. They had about 600 folks that lost service overnight because of the flooding, because it tore up it tore those creeks up, and they had pipes running under the creeks. Aqua has been there. I saw them there day one fixing things. I believe they got things up and running by Wednesday, to where water was supplied at least to everyone's houses. Same with electricity. That I heard, this is not confirmed, but I heard there were about 2,000 folks that lost electricity. Again, my understanding is that was back up by Tuesday or Wednesday. Pedernales Electric Co-op ran that effort to get that back up and going. This community, 380 people, they live within the greater numbers that I just described. They were cut off because that bridge, while it was used by emergency, those firefighters probably that day, Monday, when they were going out, the engineers came out, I think either Monday or Tuesday, and said that bridge could fail at any moment, that they didn't want cars driving it because we didn't want more folks getting injured. So that meant anybody who had a car inside that community could not bring that car out until we got a bridge up and running. And that has been very hard for these people. I mean, people that wanted to go to work, they wanted to go to a doctor's appointment, I don't know, go see a movie, anything like that. They could not take their own car. They could walk across the bridge, and Cap Metro made transportation available for them. Some folks actually had their cars on the other side of the bridge so they could use those. And the volunteers, there's a woman named Sarah who has been her, Kat, and Mike were the first 3 volunteers that I met there Sunday morning. She made sure that those folks had enough food and water and everything that they needed in those houses by walking it across. ESD1 made sure that there was a fire truck stationed over there with paramedics and fire response.
Just because we're running low on time, I'm wondering just if there's a timeline, though, for the bridges, from what you understand.
Yeah, so I just wanted to recognize it has been a hard time, especially for people that were in many ways cut off.
Absolutely.
The timeline for that is, so they put a temporary bridge in there. It's very much a temporary bridge. It was like rocks, dirt, and then more rocks, and a lot of work to smooth it out. And it is there today. We have sunny weather today, thankfully, so hopefully that bridge will stay for a long time. The permanent bridge is one that my understanding of the damage to it is that one side, I think the side away from that community, got damaged underneath, and the bridge itself shifted some amount. And so what our engineers are looking at today is, can they save that bridge, in effect? Is the top part still structurally sound? Can they lift it up, turn it, and repair the work underneath it? I don't have a timeline on that. We're well aware that school starts, I believe it is August 14th, that Leander starts. We've got kids in there that need to get reliably to school. That is other than the search teams, that is our top priority. And I've talked to residents yesterday, some came to Commissioner's Court. I met with them afterwards in the community. I hear that message loud and clear, that is of extreme urgent importance to them.
Last question then, I know we're running out of time here. Talk to me about Lake Travis. I understand today you've allowed for some recreational activities return, floodgates, levels are rising. Mm-hmm. What concerns have you heard from businesses, and how do you think these lake levels are going to help businesses along the lake during this, it's peak summer season? Yeah, so I went down there earlier today to meet one of the search teams. So they are actually still searching. There's a portion of Sandy Creek right as it enters the lake where I've ordered that there can be no recreational use. That does not mean people can still fix their docks. Emergency crews clearly can go, and if people have some emergency of their own, they can go through there. Just no, skiing, swimming, that kind of thing, because we're still searching that area. Also, there's still debris in that area. A lot of it I found today has cleared out from what was visible and floating, but I heard from the folks working there that there is still a lot of debris just under the water, and that it's still a risk for people who are out there on boats. So I want to make sure that those search crews have completed what they need to do in where Sandy Creek and Cow Creek dump into Lake Travis. That's most critically important at this point. I don't want people there while they're searching. And then, when that is completed, I'll assess again with the debris risk of whether it's okay for people to recreate there. So maybe a message of patience for those businesses. Yeah, well, so the first day I banned all use on the entire lake, I got a lot of feedback from businesses that helped me work through a more targeted way, and I appreciated that, and we reduced the scope of it. So a lot of the businesses, most of the lake is open, even for recreational use at this point, but they agreed, and I've cautioned them, it is not, every part of that lake is not a safe place. They need to be careful of debris. But yeah, I want to make sure that businesses that have
had to deal with a dry lake or a partially dry lake for a long time are able to flourish now that we have a lot of water. And to that point, Sandy Creek, where it dumps into the lake, the sheriff's deputy was telling me today that a lot of that area was completely dry in that cove, and now it is, 30 feet to and deeper in those areas. So
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. They're gonna kill me
Okay.
if Telemundo doesn't get at least
Okay,
one
sure.
soundbite. I'm sorry. So
That's all right.
for a Telemundo team, can you talk about? I don't speak so much myself. I'm sorry, but maybe can we talk about the recovery efforts, where we've come, and where you see us wanting to go,
Yeah,
just
sure.
for Telemundo audience to.
yeah.
Travis County Fair.
Oh, that's
We could talk about. I did a story on it. I'll have to
Okay.
send you all the link yesterday. I would love to talk about it. Yeah, for Telemundo, real quick.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Bueno, tenemos aquí en Sandy Creek personas que hablan español y es importante que ellos saben que tenemos un centro de recursos en Danielson Middle School. Si una persona necesita ayuda del condado, del gobierno federal, de algo, pueden ir ahí a pedir ayuda. También muy pronto FEMA va a tener un lugar ahí por la iglesia donde pueden entrar a mostrar sus daños y pedir ayuda de FEMA. Pero también tenemos ahí en la iglesia una clínica ahí, si tiene una necesidad de ir a una clínica que es gratis. Hay muchos recursos ahí por la iglesia bautista y también en el centro de ayuda de Danielson Middle School.
On the topic of CARES, I talked to the foundation yesterday. It
Yeah.
sounds like y'all are doing a great thing here. What the foundation talked about is the food, the clothes, the water. I mean, these physical needs are getting met. That really, when we're talking about recovery, it's going to be about cash and those long-term solutions. Is that the vision of CARES? And can you just talk to me about that?
Yeah, Travis County Cares is a way for people who live in Travis County and beyond to help these folks in Sandy Creek and Cow Creek areas rebuild their lives. A lot of great nonprofits are working out there, but none of them, to my knowledge, are giving actual money to the residents. And the way this foundation works is they first verify that they're residents, that they have the damages. They're very good at that. And then they give that direct help that lets the homeowner or the renter, whoever lives there, get back on their feet and use the money as they see fit. But we can't do any of it unless people donate to it. And so that's what we're asking our Travis County community to do.
Where do you see the priority being on? I know there will be an application phase as well. Where do you think those priorities are going to be?
So, FEMA hopefully will do some amount to help people get some amount, but it is my understanding it will never be 100%. So this is going to help people where FEMA maybe doesn't help them. It's our community helping each other. I think rebuilding houses is super important, and there's a lot of damaged houses there. People want to get back on their feet. People are already going back to work and just kind of struggling with can they afford to pay someone to fix their house while they're out there working, those kind of things. And so this is really going to get the Sandy Creek community back on their feet.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.